Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life.
Hello. Welcome to Pittsburgh Sports 365 official YouTube channel and our official podcast. Everything Pittsburgh Sports, Pirates, Penguins, Steelers. It don't matter. WPIAL, NCAA. It doesn't matter if it's Pittsburgh and it's sports. You'll find it right here on Pittsburgh Sports 365 official YouTube channel. Affiliate of the Pittsburgh Sports 365 group on Facebook. What a wonderful group it is. Just the best. All right. Got a darn good show for you tonight, I think. It feels like I got a little bit back together more so than normal. All right, we're going to start off with a little bit of news. Kenny Pickett got the tweaked ankle in that matchup when they beat Cincinnati. So he's limited in practice. Hopefully he's 100% ready for game time. As of this point, he will be the starter. Oh, God, I hope so, because this new offense, man, he looks good. He made a couple missteps, but for the most part, that dude was like, his footwork was perfect. If you look back to the Cleveland game, there was no, method. He didn't have there's a rhythm to a quarterback. Most of you already know, but for those of you that don't, you got a one-step drop, two-step drop, three-step drop, and then you got all that other crap. But the standard is like three-step drop normally, two-step. If you want to get it out fast, you snap, step, throw. But Kenny was, he was hitting his footwork. A lot of passes right down the middle. The passing chart's a lot better. Before they got rid of Matt Canada, I had brought up where they needed to have two running backs on the field at sometimes, to make the defense think a little bit more than just going through the routines. I said they definitely needed to hit the tight end, which they did that. They needed the pistol and they needed play action, and all those things took place. There's a few people that I actually typed all that out to, but before this even took place, I said if they used those options with this talent, that they would win, because they have talent. They have talent. You can't double George Pickens and double Deontay Johnson and double Najee Harris and double Pat Freiermuth and double number. You just can't. And we got Calvin Austin and all the other receivers. I mean, even the free agent that we picked up. I mean, he's better than the worst on other teams. We are fortunate. We got two good tight ends, two good running backs. We got at least two starting receivers. I mean, I think all of our starting receivers are starting caliber. And they have their days. And Deontay Johnson, I'm here to tell you, is playing with fire. Because remember, Claypool started acting like a little spoiled, little entitled shithead. You see where he's at, right? Yeah, me too. I seen a picture of Juju Smith-Schuster 2 days ago. Standing by himself all on the sideline, pouting after he got into an argument with the Patriots. 2 wins, and you bring that receiver, another Steelers receiver that we got rid of, Belichick brings in, and it's an absolute flop, like he did with AB. AB played 1 game. Well, Juju was all by himself on the sideline, pouting with his hoodie way away from the team. Too bad that's the first damn time he's been wide open since he left the Steelers, standing on the sideline. Minka Fitzpatrick is set to come back. At this point, they're preparing like he's going to be there. That defense gave up very little rushing yards. They did give up some passing yards, but they won the game. The score was only 16-10, but NFL rules, if you make 2 feet and a football move, then it's a touchdown. He had 3 points of contact in that end zone. That play should have been whistled dead in a touchdown. So when he hit the ground, he didn't survive it through the catch. If they would have challenged that, I understand they didn't have a good view of it because it's an away stadium. If it's a home stadium, they play that quickly because the people in the replay room and the booth and everything, they know how important the replay is. I'm sure somebody from the team has told them, when you see something that's suspect, get it back on the replay board quick enough. And if they haven't, they really should have. But nonetheless, he didn't have a clear view. Coach Tomlin said that in his press conference. That's why he didn't challenge it. Another slack by Deontay Johnson, because I know I'm not an NFL receiver, but common sense tells you if you're the one that caught the damn ball and you're the one that got 3 points of contact down, you're going to want to go tell your coach, hey, I caught that ball. I got 2 feet and a third foot or a hand or an elbow or whatever. Because once that third point of contact or that third motion, the football move has been, unless I'm mistaken, that's a touchdown, period. And all these commentators talk about how you got the ball slapped out of your hands. He caught a touchdown. They just didn't challenge it. Just saying. That was a heck of an improvement. Loved it. If Kenny Pickett can continue to go through his progression and develop, because here for a little while, he really didn't have the chance to develop because I don't know about you, but if you're working for somebody and your boss is an asshole, you're not really going to do too good at learning anything else. You're just going to barely go and do your job as you could do it without throwing something at him. So working under Matt Canada and like them having such a static, I see this first game back, you see it's night and day. Night and day. I'm not going to say they blew them out of the water because they're not. That's not how that works. But there was noticeable improvement, noticeable changes. They went from the pistol formation, gave Najee that extra little bit of room to hit that speed and pick up that speed. He was running like Bettis. You know, he was like hitting the hole and slamming into people and running people over like the Najee that we know. The formation, big difference. You need a little bit of room. Those halfback draws from the shotgun, they suck. They have their place, but they suck. If you're going to run a dive or a draw, you want some room, like pistol, I form, split back, something where the running back is about some feet behind the quarterback. So by the time he gets the ball, he's moving. He's 1/3 of the way to his top speed. By the time he gets the ball, someone would burst like Najee Harris. It was a really good game. Very good game. I enjoyed watching it for once. You know, they almost gave it up. Deontay Johnson stood there and watched that turnover and did nothing about it. He could say he didn't see it all he want, but he looked down at the play. When the ball was popping out, he was following it with his eyes. He seen the dude pick it up and seen the dude run. Watched the dude run past him and didn't even stick a hand or a foot out, anything. But I'm not the coach. But he's playing with fire. He's definitely playing with fire. Acting like that as a receiver in Pittsburgh, even as good as AB was. AB had the skill set. If he would have stayed normal and not got his clock cleaned and got so many concussions and went insane, AB would be Hall of Fame. There's no doubt. There's nobody could touch him. His work ethic was outrageous. If we got to a 3rd and 30, Ben would just put it up above AB and he'd catch it. Toe tap Tony. Remember those days? And Deontay Johnson, you know, he's good, but he's not like, oh, we got a 3rd and 10. I know we're going to get it because I'm going to throw it there. No. Deontay, you're playing with fire, my friend. You're going to end up unemployed is what you're going to do, or you're going to end up in Vegas or something. That's where they seem to send them all, Vegas. Well, it was Oakland. Anytime a receiver smokes pot or acts like an idiot, go to the Raiders. Where they chew them up, spit them out before they even get anything out of them. The Steelers game final score was 16-10. In my mind, they took that touchdown off the board, but, you know, you got to be able to overcome that adversity. So basically, the Steelers, if you want to win by 1 touchdown, you have to score 2 extra. That's just the way it's going to be. And it's been that way. The NFL's against us, and there ain't nothing we can do about it. It's us against them. You know, flags. Some teams get flags in their direction. Some don't. The NFL's totally different than just a few years ago. A few years ago, you had Brady, Ben, Manning, and all them, and they all retired, and this is all new quarterback. This is, you know, we don't, Kenny Pickett is not as good as CJ Stroud, but, there's a point in why I say he hasn't thrown an intercepted pass in 208 attempts. 208. That shatters Ben's old record. It breaks Ben's old record of not turning the ball over. Does a good job of protecting the ball. He makes some goofy throws. Everybody makes mistakes. Even the best quarterbacks in the world have missed a couple throws down the way. Kenny Pickett was 24 of 33 for 278 yards. Still no touchdowns, but he didn't throw a pick. He threw the ball to 8 different targets, spread it around like warm mayonnaise. He has 1 touchdown in 6 games. Only 6 touchdowns in 2023 as a total. or 6 touchdowns. Yeah, 13 touchdowns in his NFL career. Wow. No intercepted pass in 208 attempts, breaking Ben's record. Last time Kenny threw a pick was in week 4 in the loss to Houston Texans. He's played 7 straight games without throwing a pick. I'm happy with that. That's a stat that gets overlooked. Let's not forget Landry Jones, where every time he subbed in, if he played a game, he was throwing a pick, at least one. He was good for a pick a game. It's just the way it was. And lately, Trubisky's been that way. Trubisky has never thrown a pick 6 that I know of. That was his record at the beginning of last year. I have no idea right now. Did he throw a pick 6 last year at all? I know he threw some damn picks. That's why they got rid of him. They benched him. But I don't know if he threw a pick 6 or not. But that's a good stat. But I don't know. He made it to the playoffs with that mediocre performance in Chicago and then choked. I think it wasn't that the game where the double doink. It could have won the game, but he doinked 2 field goals. Hit the Chicago kicker, kicked the ball, and it doinked. And then they got a penalty, so they had to re-kick it, and he doinked it again. And that's the quarterback we got, second string. And for those of you who say we should, I like Josh Dobbs. He's a good quarterback, but he had a heck of a. He pooped all over the field last night. Back to Pittsburgh. Anyway. Versus the Bengals, Kenny had a 72.7% completion rate for 278 yards. His QBR was 97.8. If Deontay would have caught that touchdown, it would have been 100-plus QBR. Kenny Pickett hit 2,000 yards on the season. Najee's at 598 yards on the season. Jaylen Warren has 542 rushing and 247 receiving. So that's pretty damn good. 589 or 789 all-purpose yards for him. No. Yes, 789, that's right. George Pickens has 662 yards receiving on the year. Elandon Roberts, 51 tackles on the season, leads the team. TJ Watt has 13.5 sacks, total of 91 career sack. Second to there's only 2 people in that immortal category that have gotten 90 or more sacks in 100 games or less. TJ Watt and Reggie White. 2 of the best to ever do it. Meaning TJ Watt, regardless of what these rankings and all these sports shows and all that jag-off crap, TJ Watt is the best defensive player active right now in the NFL. I don't care what anybody says. He's the best player in the front 7. I don't care. Second to none. Period. When that idiot in Cleveland, when he starts hitting sacks like that, I don't want to hear it. It's ridiculous. Myles Garrett, they always got him on number 1 of every list. He ain't no TJ Watt. Close, but not really. Najee Harris ran with purpose against the Bengals. Man, it was crazy. The Steelers put up 421 yards to the Bengals, 222. First time outgaining their opponent this season. They win by 6. 10 of those came from Boswell's toe. Boswell had 10 points out of the 16. Is that a fact? He had three field goals. The longest was 40-something, 41 or 43. He is 100%. And he had 3 field goals and 1 extra point, making it 10 points. So, yes, he did. Sorry, I had to go back through that in my head. James Conner has been on injury reserved, and he's set to possibly make his return versus Pittsburgh when Cardinals come to play the Steelers. The Cardinals are been putting up about 358.5 yards per game total. The Steelers, now this includes the Matt Canada era, put up 292.9 yards average per game this season, but one game without him, and we're over 400 immediately. That tells you who the problem was. They're 7-4, second in the AFC North. Excuse me. Steelers defense, no matter who their running back is, the Steelers defense held Kareem Hunt 12 rushes for 36 yards, and Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is known to rip people apart. He had 13 carries for 10 yards. Woo! Yeah, that's Joe Mixon, huh? No, that's wrong. I wrote that down as all like chicken scratch. Kareem Hunt, let me correct that. Kareem Hunt was 12 rushes for 36 yards in a 13-10 loss to Cleveland. Right. And Joe Mixon only had, what was it, like 8 to 10 yards or some stupid. It was some stupid. It was like teens. Stupid. But that run defense had been doing their job, even missing two key players, the IR. One Herbig and his replacement, Quan Alexander, and Minka wasn't there, which is, believe it or not, losing that many people, and you're still holding running attacks to under 50 yards. I'd say that front seven's doing their job lately. Knock on wood. Let's hope it continues. I'm drinking Turner's tea. I feel spoiled. I'm in Cleveland drinking Turner's tea. Yes, I live in Cleveland, but I hate it. We're moving. It stinks here. The mistake on the lake. All right. So the Steelers, year-long, third down conversions, 181, something like that. Hold on. My bad. 72 runs. Their third down conversions, 55 attempts, 55 successful conversions out of 153. That's terrible. Their fourth down conversions are 4 out of 9 attempts. They had 181 first downs this year so far. 72 of them are rushing. 95 of them are passing. And they received 14 first downs via flag offs. You know, the jag-offs with the flags. Total offense is 3,222 yards at this point, according to PittsburghSteelers.com. Their offensive was 660 plays, 4.9 yards per average. Rushing, it was 1,254 yards total, 289 plays, 4.3 yard average on that. 212 of 346 passes for 2,156 yards. Only 6 interceptions. And I'm pretty sure only... How many of those are Mitch's? I don't know. You tell me. Not very many are Kenny's this year. Kenny, when he first started, he threw 8 picks right after rep. Boom, 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 boom. Lately, he buckled it down. Now he's stingy with the ball, which is good. That shows that man, regardless of how much time takes place, he could see an issue and fix it. I love his footwork. On defense, the Steelers season long, according to Steelers.com, 25 sacks. 16. They gave up 32 sacks as far as our offensive line. 16 touchdowns, 8 running, 7 of them were passed, 2 of them were. We got so far this year 16 touchdowns. 8 of them were runs, 7 touchdowns were passing touchdowns, and 2 of them were from the defense. We have a turnover ratio of plus 11, which is wonderful. Now, if we just get they seem to immediately play a different type of football. So just in case Connor does come back, play against the Steelers, which he was just removed from injured reserve, which makes him possible. I think he's listed as possible or questionable, not probable or not likely or not any of that high. It's a low one. It's like probable or possible. He wants to play, I'm sure. But this year so far, 104 plays, 526 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's only had one game over 100 yards, and that was September 17th versus the New York Giants. Which was 106. Plus, he had a game versus the Dallas Cowboys where he had 98 yards and a 5.1 yards per carry average. In his career, James Conner, including the Steelers and the Cardinals, he's had 1,021 yards, 221 carries. And then, he has a total of 1,221 yards, 1,021, 221. I guess that's catching. 221 receiving yards with the 1,021, and his other yards, according to the Cardinals NFL page, he has 1,674 total yards. So if he comes back to play, as we know, even when James Conner comes back from injury, if he gets the ball, he's a threat. He's a threat. So I don't know the dude's name because I don't care. But they just got a running back from the New York Jets, which if he was any good, the Jets wouldn't let him go because they're garbage to begin with. I like our 1-2 punch because they probably spent weeks. The Bengals probably spent weeks, right? Preparing for Jalen Warren because we were using Warren. And then we go to Cincinnati and the whole game plan is flipped inside out, which you can see it coming anyway. They got rid of Canada, so you had to think that they was going to change something, for God's sake, because he sucks. Immediately gone. His whole time here, he didn't even get 400 yards. That tells you how shitty he is. Excuse my language, but the Penguins are playing. Jari's going to start. Brian Rush should be back after missing 3 games with a lower body injury. He has 16 points in 17 games, so they need him to come back. That's for sure. They need to get that power play under control. That's a big thing in the NHL. If you can figure out how to put up points on a power play, that's the easiest time to score. I love what they're doing. Crosby looks good at 36 years old. I'm shocked. He looks like he did when he was 26. I think he's 36. Nonetheless, he's in his late 30s, and that man is going. His points and his production is ridiculous. I like how they took Malkin and Sid and separated them there for a little while. I think if they can figure the power play out and Russ can come back in and maybe find one more guy to click on the line with Sid, because taking Malkin out and putting him on another line, that means you always have one of your best players on the ice. Great. Anybody else see where Letang punched that guy right in the nose the other night with his glove on, and the Maple Leafs were crying because he punched him with the side of his hand, and then they were him and that gentleman. He got put in the penalty box. They were in there chirping at each other over the glass. I thought for sure that one of them was going to go up over that thing. Was that Letang? I think it was. Anyway, one of the Penguins knocked someone right in the face. That's great. That's always good to see. I really liked what I seen from the Steelers. The Pirates haven't done anything major that I know of. They haven't announced anything with Kutch or anything like that yet. I think that they should at least bring him in. His production was good when he played last year, considering how old he is. He had good numbers as a DH. So, I mean, just the morale alone, having him in the city, boosting ticket sales, getting younger guys involved, mentoring them, getting everybody involved in the game. When he played, he had good numbers. So I look for them to bring him back at least 1 year. I'll be shocked if they don't. If they don't, it's because he tried to go somewhere else. At this point in his career, he basically knows that the Pirates is his only chance of getting another contract, because even though he's doing decent, he's still at that age where teams aren't fighting over him. So Bob Nutting, when he did play last year, his numbers were good enough. I see Bob Nutting just because of the boost in ticket sales and the boost in fan morale. I look for them to sign Kutch again. That would be great. It'd be great for both the fans and the team. Because even though it seemed like when Andrew McCutcheon wore out and got tired as the season went on, they started to slip after the All-Star break. But I would like to see them hit that All-Star break and just keep rolling. It seems like every year they start out hot, they fall flat on their face. They need to figure it out. And I see a part of the Pirates' problem is they don't ever, they have good pitchers and then one or two of them will get hurt and they don't do anything but bring someone up. What you need to do is, you got a couple good pitchers in there. You need to spend some money on a pitcher. Not all of them, not 100, but that's okay. They need to figure it out. Because when one or two pitchers gets hurt, it seems like that's when the Pirates season goes right towards the toilet. It's mainly after the All-Star break, which is disgusting to me. They need to figure it out. Do me a favor, folks. Stop over to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe, comment, interact with the videos. Go over and join our Yinzer Only group on Facebook, Pittsburgh Sports 365. We are ready for the weekend, and I'm glad that the Steelers' offense looks promising because I couldn't take no more of that Matt Canada stale-ass bread and butter offense anymore. Lord have mercy. Please feel free to ask any questions via my DM or the comments. I want to thank you for your support. Again, Pittsburgh Sports 365 official YouTube podcast and Facebook group. I want you guys to have a good week. Stay safe. It's starting to snow in some places. Stay warm. Thanks again, folks. Love you. Stay safe. Bye-bye.